Hi ladies, this is a little information about note cards. Now, there are really two types of note cards. One is what you think of when you have note cards, your quotes from your various sources. But the second type of note card is a source card. Your source card has all of your MLA information in citation information in correct MLA format, and in this case I used a version of A Christmas Carol that was online, and so I've cited it that way. I've also put in a code, and that is my source code, that capital A in the upper right hand corner. For each quote that I get from my source, from my original book, I am going to put that A in the upper right hand corner, as I have done here. See, A. And I've put in the page number where I got the quote. Now, I am also going to look for literary critical sources to support my argument. And the first place I'm going to look for these things is in the databases on the school website. Academics, DeMayo Library, Resources, Facts on File, Bloom's, and in this case, the title of the book is Christmas Carol. Another thing I can search under is the author. I can also search under the theme, but I'm going to start my first round of searching with the title of the book. So I put in my username, Shacademy, I put in the password, and I have had you do outlines. And the reason I had you do outlines is because I think it will make it easier for you when you are looking for support for your argument from the critics. Because if you've done a good job with this outline, you have a direction, you have a roadmap, if you will, for your paper. And I've included mine just to remind you of where I said I was going with this. Okay? So, I found several critics to bolster or support my argument. And I'm going to use one as an example for you. Okay? This particular one is an article by Raffaella Cavalieri on individual and society in A Christmas Carol. And I have all my citation information, and I have a code. So, every time I use quotes from the source, I put the code in the upper right hand corner. And I have pulled two quotes from this particular source, and I have put in the upper right hand corner my source code, and I have put NP for no page because in the database there is not a page number. And I will look at these quotes, and I will go back to my outline, and let's try this quote. Previously, coming back home on Christmas Eve, Ebenezer Scrooge receives the visit of Jacob Marley's ghost, who drags along a heavy chain with symbolic objects such as cash boxes, keys, and padlocks. It symbolizes how our acts of life come back to haunt us. Marley wears the chain he forged in his life. He represents not only Scrooge's conscience, but also the conscience of humankind. Indeed, he brings this universal message. It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men, and travel far and wide, and if the spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. With this message, Marley reminds Scrooge that he is part of the human race, and that experiencing the connection while living, breathing soul is preferable to the hellish existence of Marley himself. Now, this particular quote, I'm going to go back. I think it should work. And I'm going to go back to my outline, and there's a couple places where I might use it. And one of them is when I have in my paper this visit between Scrooge and Marley. up here a number 5. So I might put it there. Also, I might use it later when the ghosts have visited and Scrooge is deciding that he needs to connect, which is the message that Marley was trying to bring him. Okay? But I have time for that. I have time to decide where I want to use it. When your note cards are due, ladies, you may do them electronically. In this case, I used text boxes. You can also use Quizlet. I do believe they have a note card template. There are other sources for electronic note card templates. You can use those. You can use index cards. Any of those will work. When these are due, I want them printed, please, and brought to class as physical note cards. Please, if you have any questions, come see me, email me. Hopefully you have found this helpful.